Here we have a new 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-E. This one comes in the GT trim level. And then we also have the GT Performance package upgrade. Desert Sand is the paint. And then we have the Performance Gray ActiveX interior. Now we get an electric motor on each axle and up to 150 kilowatts in terms of DC fast charge speed. As we come around to the front end here, we do get our LED headlamps along with the LED daytime running lights. The lights don't dance like that. That's just how my camera's picking them up, but I freaking love these cars. Now, of course, I have one. Mine's a 21. It's got over 82,000 miles on it, and plan on putting 400,000 miles on it if I can. But I love these cars. I wish I had a GT. I have a California Route 1. Same battery pack, so I get up to 305 miles on a charge, EPA estimated, so pretty nice. But I love the performance of these in particular. These are the 20-inch black wheels. Now you can see they kind of have an aerodynamic design there where it almost looks like a cover there, but that's all a wheel. You have the Brembo brake calipers here, and I really like how they did this, especially on this desert sand. Makes it look fantastic. Now here's the charge port. Again, you get up to 150 kilowatts DC fast charge speed there, and up to 280 miles on a charge here. But a 91 kilowatt hour battery is pretty nice. Now to the door panel, power door lock controls, memory seat functions, one touch up and down windows on all four doors. We have our power window lockout and child locks there, or electronic, excuse me. And then we have our power folding side mirrors with blind spot monitors. And that's the door release there. I love this kind of Alcantara that they have on the door panel. It looks really nice. The whole door panel actually looks really good. B&O sound system. And then you can release the front here by pulling that twice. And I'm so glad it's on the key fob now. You can actually pop it from the key fob. But headlamp controls, traction control, manual tilt telescoping steering wheel. And then here's the power driver's seat with two-way power lumbar support. But a huge thanks to Ford Lincoln of Franklin for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information, and I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. But y'all pause anywhere you need to. I'm trying to get as close as I can here, so you can see everything on the sticker. But $60,210 is the sticker price. My glare is kind of messing me up. But I have the seat up front adjusted for someone of my size, being 6'3" with longer legs. So we're gonna check out the rear seat space, which I pretty much know what it's gonna be like, because again, I do have one of these, even though mine is not a GT. Still, the space on these is absolutely phenomenal for this kind of vehicle. These are just barely touching the back of the seats. And these are the bigger seats. Mine don't really have all this going on. They look more traditional, and I have a bit more space, I think. But again, I would go with the GT if everything else were equal, because the leg space, not really a huge difference. Now down here, rear AC vents, two USB-C charge ports. And there's a look at the front from back here. Now I will say with these seats, you don't have the seat back pocket, but not really a big deal for me. I don't ever use mine. Bottle holders are here. Yeah, this is just a really nice car. I love these. And then your LED lights are in the back here. You can hang a shirt or a pair of pants on this hook if you need to. Now I will say my daughter is 3, and she's gonna be 4 this month, but she loves to turn this thing on from her car seat. So that's one issue that I have, is it's very easy for kids to reach these and leave them on. And now it doesn't run your battery down or anything, but it's still annoying. And as we come to the back end, again, LED tail lamps, but they're not dancing like that. That's just the camera. But just a great looking vehicle. Reverse light comes on right there. Rear parking sensors are integrated on the back. And then we do get a power lift gate. Now my California Route 1 does not have a power lift gate, but not really a big deal. The top tethers are integrated on the back of the seats themselves. And this does have the all-weather mats. These come in handy. They're hard to get clean if you don't clean them for years at a time like I do, but keeps the carpet nice. And then underneath here you have the cargo tray, and then I usually keep my tire inflator kit underneath there as well. Now, knock on wood, I haven't needed it, but I get run flats. And then to this side, press this button in here. You can fold the seat flat on either side, run longer objects through to the front, and then just make sure the seat belt's out of the way, and then you can snap that back into place. And then front passenger seat, you get an 8-way on this side, a 10-way on the driver's side, but 2-way lumbar support on both sides. And then you have a glove compartment right in here, and then a storage tray right here. Now, I will say I always forget that's there, so I have things that have been down there for years that I don't know are there. But it's nice to have that additional storage space. Back around to the front, again, you have that cool thing where you can hit the key fob and actually open the front instead of having to go in the car and pull the latch twice like I do. And then it exposes you to this cargo area here. Now, I will say mine is a bit deeper in my California Route 1. So I don't know why. I mean, mine's also rear wheel drive too, so I don't have the front mounted electric motor. I kind of feel bad because I paid $52 for mine, and this one's a little over $60. And you know, wish I would have gotten this one, but I love mine. I love it. Now I'm going to show you the blinkers. The front is still very difficult to close, and keep in mind I have one and I still cannot close these without slamming them. There's the blinker. And I hit that latch already, I already forgot. So if you don't close it right, you gotta hit it that second time. And then you usually always close it right because you don't want to do this again. There you go. Now let's hop in the driver's seat. So nice ActiveX wrap steering wheel here. I love these because mine has almost 82,000 miles on it. Still is held up very nicely. There's the horn. Love the black logo there, the Mustang logo. Now over here to the radio, we do get AM, FM, XM along with Bluetooth. We also have wireless CarPlay and Android Auto as well. Hit this, wrong button. Hit this car right here, and this pulls up the controls. So this is where you can actually go between your drive modes: whisper, engage, unbridle. You can toggle your one pedal drive, the automatic brake hold, the propulsion sound. Now I have a sub hooked up in mine, so I never have the propulsion sound on because there's a pretty bad feedback coming through that. But I actually like the propulsion sounds on these. But whisper kind of gives you the easier to get good range feature there. You're also able to just drive a bit more cleanly. The engage, pretty peppy. And then the unbridle is what I like to be in, where you're just sitting there and the thing is just scooting. It's just great, great drive mode there. That's where I leave mine in because it's the perfect amount of torque for me. Now you can change your tone settings and balance and fade there. Driver assistant, this is where you can go in here and change your cruise control. If you want to go between adaptive and normal, turn the lane centering on, all of that. And then if you go down to your general settings here, you can change your measurement, language, and all of that. Camera button up here pulls up that front camera. You have the bird's eye view as well. Parking sensors you can toggle there. And then if you hit these dots up here, this pulls up your apps. So you can see your tire pressure. You can see the charge settings. And then you have your entertainment, YouTube, the games and all that. And then you can pull up the nav here. Now, this is what I actually like about this little trip meter thing. This is what I use to see how efficient I'm being. So how many kilowatts or kilowatt hours I'm getting in terms of the efficiency, how many miles I'm going per kilowatt hour, excuse me. And you can see how much the accessories using, the driving, the climate use, the exterior temp, and all of that there. But down here, 3-stage heated seats for the front, where you can set them to auto, heated steering wheel, then you can control the fan speed here and pull up the climate controls right in there. Toggle the heat, fan direction, and then you can do the temperature for either side here. And then you can set the dual mode on, and then that'll allow you to have the passenger change their temperature. Now down below, USB-C, USB-A port. It's kind of hard to see with that glare. And then you have a wireless charging pad over here, bottle holders. Pull this up, pulls up the parking sensors, and then the hazards here, your electronic parking brake. Pull up to engage to the brake, press down to disengage. Now, I always like reviewing the Mach-E's because I can actually give you real-world insight on these cars. So where the hazards are right here, they're really easy to get to when I'm driving, but it's always funny if I have my dog right up here, if I'm taking it from the groomer or something like that, he always likes to rest his head here or kind of rest his head on my leg. And what'll happen is his nails or his leg or whatever will toggle these hazards, and I'll just be driving down the road not knowing that these are on. Now your center console cubby space, I like that because you can store quite a bit in it. There's a 12-volt, 2 USB-Cs in there. Mine, the Mustang Mach-E California Route 1, only has the 12-volt there, but that's where I either plug in my inverter or my radar detector right there. And there's the fixed glass roof. Look at the back. Sunglasses holder, and your lights are here. Garage door transmitter, and there's the vanity mirror. Now back up front, they did change a few things here. I actually like my setup better. Now the shifter is right here. Used to be down here, and now it's kind of like the Mercedes. The Tesla is all in the column, so you just pull up for reverse, tap down for neutral, pull all the way down for drive, press P for park. The windshield wipers used to be there, and now they're here. But automatic wipers, low, high, and then your rear wiper, fluid there, 1, 2, fluid there, and then turn them off that way. High beams still over here. Now for the cruise control, turn that on, adjust the gap, toggle the lane keeping system, set your speed, cancel, resume, and then over here, mute, or Bluetooth button, excuse me, voice recognition, go through your track list, radio station presets, and volume down, volume up, and then you can use this as an OK button when applicable on the screen, on the gauge cluster. Push button start. Finally, here's the fob. But next, let's go ahead and take this 2025 Mach-E GT Performance out on the road for a test drive. So starting the test drive in this Mach-E GT Performance, I absolutely love this car. It's so quick. It's so much fun to drive. And a lot of people like to talk down on this car because it is electric. And they're like, why would you name this a Mustang, blah, blah, blah. But whatever you decide to call it, it's a beast of a vehicle. It's efficient. Again, it's quick, it's fun to drive, relatively spacious. And honestly, for $60,000, you get a lot for the money, I think. 280 miles of range. And I always kind of got mad at Ford for only having 150 kilowatt DC fast charge speed. But honestly, a lot of these other companies like to show out their max charge speed that you get for 30 seconds. And then basically it's in line with this car anyway. And it just makes it a bit safer to charge as well. So me, as I've actually used mine to travel quite a bit, I tend to charge within 40 to 45 minutes, depending on how low I let the battery get. So about what you'd expect from any other EV, honestly. Now, Hyundais and Kias with their charging infrastructure, they can really do 10 to 80 in 15-20 minutes. I've tested that as well. I had to rent one when I was out of town once. But other than that, I mean, everything else is, it's not really a big deal, I think. especially if you're traveling maybe 5% of the time like I am, where I need to hit a DC fast charger. But 95% of the time I charge this at home and it's no problem. But love the hands-free driving here. It doesn't make you want to take a nap, but it is relaxing. Now, one thing about this car, this does have the MagneRide damping system. It helps with the ride quality a little bit, but it's still stiff. It's still relatively bouncy for an EV. Now, it's not like a Model Y. Tesla, you know, they were the first to really bring these to scale for everyone. They are super bouncy. And I know that from owning one and then from test driving Model Ys. But my Model 3 used to just bounce, baby. I'm telling you, it was crazy. This here rides a bit better, but when you hit bumps, it'll jar you. But it's less bouncy. It's more stiff coming down the road than bouncy like some other EVs. But when you hit a bump, it can be harsh. Now, this MagneRide does help with that on this GT performance, but it doesn't help that much where I would pay extra for it. Now, for everything else, to include that with it, cool, but I wouldn't pay extra just to get the MagneRide personally. Now, the propulsion sound and unbridled, I actually really appreciate, but like I said, in mine, I have to keep it off because of my feedback from the subwoofer. I mean, this thing is so freaking quick, just it's so much fun to drive. Now, mine doesn't move like that, again, with mine being the more range-oriented one, rear-wheel drive. But one thing I love about these, again, in unbridled, you can really put your foot down and they will go. Now, these seats in the GT Performance, they hug pretty nicely around the body. But, I mean, for the most part, they are still relatively comfortable. And again, the MagneRide does help in terms of the ride quality, but you can still feel the bumps. They're just not as jarring, I think, if that makes sense. So, like down here, this is always pretty bumpy, but it does kind of deaden the bounciness a little bit. Now we're gonna try to give it a good pull getting on the interstate here. It'll be quick, so you gotta make sure you're ready. Here we go. Oh my gosh, this thing is so freaking quick. Oh man. Now, I do want to give one more huge thanks to Ford Lincoln of Franklin for allowing me to review this car today. I'll leave a link below in the description. If you're looking to find the best price on one of these closer to home, click that second link down below. It takes just a minute to fill out your information. I'll make sure the local dealers are fighting to get you the best price on this or whatever new vehicle you might be interested in. The hands-free is going now, so pretty great system. Again, in terms of the lane centering, the adaptive cruise, it's fantastic. But I think for the money, you get a relatively nice car here, pretty solid in terms of the performance, in terms of just the amenities you get. I love the car overall, but for the money, it's great. It really is. And I think if these batteries hold up like I think they will, 300, 400,000 miles, you take care of them. I mean, what else can you get out of a car like that for that kind of money? Like, what other car is giving you that? I don't really know, except maybe a Toyota or a Honda that's on its last leg. But for the most part, these hold, you know, just their usability very well, and I know that from personal experience. So all that being said, this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2025 Mustang Mach-E GT Performance.